غرباء 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 غرباء.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. Yesterday, Saturday, after Salat al-Dhuhr, I gave a lecture in Liverpool at a masjid called Masjid al-Rahmah. It's a masjid where the majority of the people who attend the masjid, they're from Yemen and Somalia. And there are a lot of reverts and a lot of youngsters who are also from Yemen and Somalia who are in the masjid. After delivering the lecture, and the topic was about some of the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah, after delivering the topic, the lecture, when we did the question and answer session, there were some questions coming from a lot of the young people in the community that were kind of weird. They were strange. They were involved, those young brothers, with trying to give Dawah on the internet with Christians who were arguing back and forth with them as to whether Islam was the true religion or Islam wasn't the true religion. One brother in particular, he was cursing Christianity and he was speaking down about Jesus in an attempt to try to show those people that al-Islam was the truth. So in answering his particular question, I told him about the incident of the authentic hadith. An incident happened with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which one of his companions had an argument with a Jewish man who was living in Medina. And the Muslim said, "I swear by Allah who has sent Prophet Muhammad and he made him the best prophet." And the Jewish man said in response to that, "No, I swear by Allah who sent Moses as the best prophet." So that Muslim, he became upset and angry and he slapped the man in the face. He felt insulted. How can you say that Moses is better than Muhammad? So he slapped him in his face. The Jew went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to Prophet Muhammad, and he told him what happened. The Nabi, he became angry and he said to the Muslim who slapped that man and to the rest of the Muslims who were listening, "La tufaddiluni ala Musa." Don't say that I'm better than Musa. He said, "Wallahi, Yawm al-Qiyamah, the trumpet is going to be blown. There's an angel, it's going to blow the trumpet. And that's going to establish Yawm al-Qiyamah. Everyone is going to lose consciousness. Everyone is going to lose consciousness. And then he'll blow the trumpet a second time." Prophet Muhammad said, when the trumpet is blown the second time, I'm going to be the first one to wake up. And when I wake up, Yawm al-Qiyamah, after the trumpet is blown, I'm going to find Musa is already there and he's awake and he's holding on to the throne of Allah. Prophet Muhammad said, I don't know, was Musa exempt from going to sleep, from falling out, from losing consciousness? Or maybe Musa was awakened before me. I don't know. Maybe when the trumpet was blown, he never went unconscious. Or maybe he went unconscious, but Allah made him wake up before me, which shows the virtues of Musa. So the point here, and the reason why I'm using this to bring to your attention this issue, is it goes to show it wasn't acceptable and it wasn't okay for the companion, that Muslim, to slap another man because he said something about Musa, something about the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And giving dawah to Allah and calling people to Allah, there is a right way, there is a wrong way. Another example of happened with the brothers in Liverpool. A young brother, he wanted to know, was it correct? What happened? He said that they had some discussion in their school, and one of the non-Muslims said, if Islam was true, then why is it that you Muslims have so many problems where you come from? The countries where you come from, you have a lot of problems. There are a lot of bombs going off, a lack of stability. People are hungry. People are not educated. The Muslim got upset and he started saying bad things about this country and about the government in this country and what he was going to do in this country. And he got in trouble as a result of that. He tried to push away the statement that that guy was saying with a statement that was incorrect, with a method, with a way that just makes more problems. So with that being the case, this brother Sajjad, from what I understand, he's been in contact with some of you brothers asking you what type of lessons that you want to deal with and what type of issues that you want to address. Here in Green Lane Masjid, we've put on a number of projects and programs, and we try to put on projects and programs to address the needs of every category of people in our community. We want to put on programs for the women because the Prophet ﷺ made himself available to the women to educate them about their issues. We want to put programs on for people who speak Urdu, people who speak English, people who speak Arabic, people who want to learn the Quran, because the Prophet ﷺ, he paid attention to all of those issues. So one of the categories of people that we see a need to address their issues are the younger people in our community. And with the internet and with the fact that we're mixing with a lot of people who are non-Muslims in our school, in the streets, on the public transportation, we said, okay, we're going to address these issues that were suggested by you brothers. So the first issues that are on the table for discussion are these most important points about Dawah, giving Dawah, calling people to al-Islam. I expected myself for older people to be here. I didn't expect little itty bitty guys to be here like that, like my man in the red. How old are you, little man in the red, right there? How old are you? 15, 16, 13. Do we have anybody who's here from the Shabab who are lesser, younger than 11? All right, you guys got to get out. Nah, you don't have to get out because you're only 4, and that's okay with the rest of you. I want to just ask all of you if you could just come in here so that I can look at everybody at the same time. I wanted to sit down there where I could be closer to you guys, but they said it would be easier for the filming of these lessons if we sat here. So if you brothers can just come right here in this area so that we can see all of you. We should all know and we should all accept and understand, all of us. We should know, we should accept, we should understand that we're all giving dawah. We're all calling people. We're giving dawah to our religion. We're Muslims. Not only are we giving dawah to our religion, but we're giving dawah to our families, who we come from. Whether you memorize the Quran or you didn't memorize the Quran, whether you memorize 1 or 2 or 3 hadith or you didn't memorize any hadith, everybody here, if you're a Muslim, you're giving dawah. You're giving dawah to Islam, and you're giving dawah as well to your family, your mother and your father. When you go to school, for an example, the way you behave, the people who look at you and the people who see you on your street, your neighbors, when they see you outside, how you come, how you go, how you behave, how you dress, how you carry yourself, they say, this person is clear that his mother and his father have taught him adab, how to be respectful. It's clear. And then other people say, this is a clear indication that this individual, his mother and his father, they're not doing a good job in terms of educating them. So everybody is giving dawah. Also, as Muslims, all of us are giving dawah to our religion. That statement that was said to that boy in Liverpool is partly true. Many of these non-Muslims, they don't understand our religion because they're victims of their own ignorance. Many of them, they don't know the reality of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because they're victims of their own ignorance. They don't read. They just listen to what they've been told by the media, and they look at the Muslims. And then when they see the Muslims, they see the Muslims doing some crazy things, so they think this is what al-Islam is, and they're representing Prophet Muhammad. Now it is a fact that anyone who wants to know real Islam, if you want to know real Islam, then you have to judge what Allah revealed in the Quran, what Allah revealed to the Prophet in his authentic Sunnah. And the best people who are practicing that Quran and the Sunnah is not the people who are sitting here, it's not our parents, not the people in Mecca and Medina right now. It's not the scholars of Islam. The best people who practiced that Quran and the Sunnah, they gave the best picture, the best interpretation, were the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and may Allah be pleased with them. So if someone wants to criticize Islam with fairness and justice, just like us, if we want to criticize Christianity, Judaism, then we have to criticize the book that the people are holding, that they claim is the book from Allah. Similarly, anyone who wants to poke holes at Islam, he has to look at the Quran. Try to find something in the Quran that is not fair, not just, not calling to what is beneficial. He has to look at the Sunnah of the Prophet, the authentic Sunnah, to find out what's not fair, what's not just, what's problematic. And then he has to look at the people who represented that better than anyone else, and they were the companions. As for now, today, 1,433 years after the Prophet's Hijrah, in 2012, today, the Muslims of today, Muslims in Syria, Muslims in Egypt, Muslims in Lebanon, Muslims in Somalia, Muslims in the UK, Muslims in America, Muslims in Saudi Arabia, we're not the best example. There are some people from Somalia, some people from Syria, some people from the UK, some people from the US. Some Muslims are good examples, but generally speaking, can't look at the Muslims. But the point here is, we have a responsibility as Muslims to give a good picture of what our religion is saying by the way we behave. I don't know if you guys knew this, but right now I see you, and everyone is looking and sitting with respect, paying attention. When you go to school, if you're in the school and you're in the class, no matter how old you are, you're in the college, well, no matter how old you are, you're in a school and you're a knucklehead and you're being disruptive and you don't pay attention and the teacher keeps having to get on you and talk to you, your grades are the lowest, you're the one who your mother and your father, when they come, they have to give them bad reports. All of those are examples of us giving dawah. Here in the city of Birmingham, when they look at all of the schools in Birmingham on whatever level, and they take all of the results of the grades of all of those schools, they call it the demographics. Many Pakistanis go to that school, Asians, many Somalis go to that school, white people go to that school. This school is mixed. The demographics of the school, they bring together all of those exams and they see how did the Muslim children compare to the non-Muslim children. When they see that we consistently score lower than the rest of the city or the rest of the country, they say, those are the Muslims. That's how they are. That's Dawah. That's Dawah. People who sell drugs, people who smoke drugs in the community, we're giving Dawah to this religion. When they arrest people, they find that the guy who's driving a car, he doesn't have a license. They come and they tell a group of people, get off of this corner. Don't hang out in this corner. We're going to go around the block. If we come back, you're here. We're going to arrest you. They go around the block. They arrest you. They'll say, okay, these are the Muslims. All of that is Dawah ilallah. Now, I know the group that we have here, you guys are not the troublemaker guys, but nonetheless, we wanted to bring that to your attention to know the way we act, the way we perform, the way we exist, the way we deal in the society. All of that is giving Dawah to our religion and giving Dawah, telling the other people, this is the religion I'm upon, and this is the house that I come from. So we all have a responsibility, a religious responsibility to know about these issues, the importance of them, and to know what we're doing. Our presentation today is going to focus upon Dawah about the religion. Dawah about the religion. What are some of the things that we need to know? And there are a lot of issues to discuss, a lot of issues. Today we're just going to talk very briefly about two very important issues when it comes to Dawah, so that if you are an individual who you're actively engaged in telling people about Islam and you're discussing about Islam, you'll be equipped, inshallah, you'll be ready, you'll be able, you'll be capable to know what you're talking about because you've studied the issue, you've had the issue explained to you, and you've comprehended the issue. So we're not going to go too fast because the important thing for us is that you guys understand. Again, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pay attention to guys like you. In some of the masjids in Birmingham, little guys like you, there are no classes for you. The imam won't ever talk to you. the administration, they won't ever do anything for you. If you are 13, 12, 11, the guy who said he's 11, he can make wudu. And if he makes wudu and he sits in the first row, right there behind the imam, he makes wudu, he sits in the first row. He has the right to pray in that first row for Salat al-Isha. He has the right to pray. In most masjids, the older people will come and say, hey, you got to get in the back. Hey, you have to get on the end of the first row. You can't be there. But that wasn't what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that wasn't what he was doing with people your age and people from his community. There was a young boy. The young boy was only 8 years old. 8 years old. He used to come with the men, his father and the older men. They would travel to Al-Medina to meet the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to learn their religion. He learned the Quran more than anybody else from his group. He was the youngest, only 8. He learned and memorized Quran more than anybody. When they went back to the city where they came from, he was the imam of the people. And he was only 8 years old. Is anybody here 8? Anybody here 8? So if you can imagine, just look around. He's younger than everybody sitting right now in this assembly. 8 years old. Anybody got a brother who's 8 years old, 7 years old, a sister 8, 7? He was that old. He used to lead the people in the prayer with the knowledge of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because he knew the most Quran and he knew what he was doing. He knew how to make wudu and he was disciplined and focused in the prayer. So he was old enough. So how is it and why is it that if an 11-year-old person was in the first row, in the middle, right behind the imam, the older person will come and say, hey, you have to get out of that position. I'm telling you this just to let you know that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to pay attention to this segment of our community. You people used to pay attention. He used to address their issues. He used to deal with their issues. And with us here at Green Lane, everything in Green Lane is not perfect. No one is perfect except Allah. We're trying though. And in trying, we want to do things according to the sunnah. So from the sunnah is pay attention to the young people like yourselves. So this presentation has that goal and the objective behind it. Now concerning giving dawah to this religion, first thing that we want to discuss with you guys is the virtues of giving dawah. People who give dawah are not like the regular Amr, Bakr, and Zayd from the people. It's not like the regular Joe Schmo. There's a lot of virtues in giving dawah. I want to ask you guys a question. Just raise your hand if you know the answer. And raise your right hand. In al-Islam, in our religion, out of all of the human beings, which group of human beings are the best human beings? Are they the basketball players, football players? Are they the snooker players? Are they the guys who come up and figure out how to make computer programs? Is it the guy who's the best on the Xbox? Who's the best human beings in al-Islam? Who knows the answer to that question? All right, put your hands down, you guys. If you don't know the answer, put your hand up. Now, some of you can't have your hands down on both. You either know or you don't know. So those who know, put your hands up. Okay. Now, those of you who don't know, put your hands up. Okay. Pay attention if you don't know. And this is important. If you don't know, it's not a problem all the time if you don't know. When you're in school, if you don't know the answer, that doesn't mean you lose your attention and you become distracted. Pay attention to the answer and then you're going to come to know. But it's crazy if we pick someone who thinks he knows and then we ask him what's the answer and he makes a mistake. We say, no, that's not it. Then we pick you and you say the same answer. So you have to learn from the mistake of the other person. So if you don't know, no problem. You're going to know. Those who know, put your hands up. Let me see. Akhi Ibrahim. That's a true answer. Those who teach the Quran and those who learn the Quran. But that's not the answer that I'm looking for. But he said that because the Prophet said, the best of you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches the Quran. So that answer is kind of true, but it's not the answer I'm looking for. The question is, which group of people from the sons and daughters of Adam that Allah created, which group of people are the best people? Are they the teachers in the world? The university professors? The guys who drive the garbage truck, are they the individuals who are scientists? Is he the doctor who does heart surgery? Who are the best people from Adam's children? Akhi. The companions of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's not correct. The companions are the best people from this ummah. So it's correct from that angle. Come on, guys. You, my man. No. You. The prophets and the messengers are the best human beings. How many of you knew that was the answer? How many of you knew that was the answer? The prophets and the messengers are the best human beings. And all of us are trying to be like them. Yawmul Qiyamah, all of the prophets and the messengers will be in the highest part of Jannah. All of the prophets and the messengers will get a tremendous reward from Allah. They're the best people that Allah created. So since we're trying to be like them, and who are they? Adam, Ibrahim, Ishaq, Yaqub, Yusuf, all of them. And from them is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Since we're trying to be like them, one of the proofs of the virtues of giving dawah is the main reason why Allah sent those people, the best people, prophets and the messengers, the main reason why Allah sent them was to call people and to give people a dawah. So a person who's engaged in giving dawah and inviting people to al-Islam, the person who's doing that on whatever level, he can be giving dawah to his little brother, his little sister. He can be giving dawah about something to his relative, to non-Muslims on the internet. He's writing whatever, on whatever level. Anyone who is giving dawah and inviting people to Islam or some aspect of Islam, they're doing what the best people that Allah created were sent to do. Allah said in the ayat of the Quran, لَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. Allah said we sent to every nation, every group of people, a Rasul, a messenger. And that messenger went to them and he told his people, worship Allah and abandon all false deities. So every group of people you can think of in your history class, every group of people, from the time that Allah created Adam, every group of people, they had prophets and messengers sent to them, and those prophets and messengers, they called the people to al-Islam, and that's why they're the best people. So it's one of the virtues. So if you were asked, what is a virtue of giving dawah and inviting people to Islam? One of the virtues, the many virtues is that all of the prophets and the messengers who are the best people, they did it. They did it. It's the best occupation that a person can have. No occupation is better than that. That doesn't mean, though, before we go to the next point, guys, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't excel academically. It doesn't mean that your whole life should only be. No, you should try to get an education and you can do other things and give dawah while you do other things. There's a prophet in Islam, his name is Zakaria. How many of you heard of Zakaria? The prophet says Zakaria, he used to be a Najjar. Anybody know what a Najjar is? Zakaria, aywa? A blacksmith? No. A Najjar, Zakaria, naam, Sheikh. Zakaria used to be a carpenter. He used to build things with wood, which goes to show that a person can have a regular job as well. A prophet, he has a regular job. Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that all of the prophets and the messengers, all of them without any exception, all of the messengers, all of them, they were responsible for taking care of sheep or goats or camels, making them go from here to there, from there to there, from there to there. Every prophet and messenger, that was his job. Does anybody know the reason why? Somebody tell me, why do you think every prophet came and that was part of his job? Why do you think? Now, good job. What's your name, son? Abdul Razak gave the right answer. One of the reasons why all of the prophets and the messengers were shepherds is because they used to get training. If you can herd sheep and goats and cows, if you can take them from Small Heath to Spark Hill, Spark Brook, then you'll know how to deal with people. You guys, all of you together, if we tried to get you, I remember we had a youth club. We used to leave the masjid to go over here to the Small Heath Leisure Center. Just from the masjid to the leisure center, we couldn't keep the guys in order. Some people want to cross the street, other people don't cross the street. Some want to stay in line, others they didn't want to stay in line. By the time we arrived there were still people who didn't even leave the masjid. So the prophets and the messengers, they used to do this job with being a shepherd in order to get some training on how to deal with the differences that people have. The second virtue of giving dawah, and they are many, if someone were to ask you people, out of all of the religions and all of the people, Sikhs, Hindus, Jewish people, atheists, they don't believe in Allah at all. Jewish people, Christians, Buddhists, out of all of the people who have a religion or they don't have a religion, which group of people are the best group of people in terms of their religion? Which group of people? That's a question. Out of all of these religions, which group of people have the best way of life and the best religion? Which group of people? All right. If you know, put your hand up. All right. Put your hand up. Those of you who don't know that answer, put your hands up. Again, some of you are not putting your hands up either way. Those of you who know the best religion, the best group of people, who are they? Put your hands up. Okay. If you don't know who the best people are, the best religion, put your hand up. Okay. I want to jump down there and punch some of you in the head, those who don't know. But you don't know, it's okay. Now you're going to know. The best group of people are who, my man? Yeah, you. The Muslims. The Muslims. Al-Islam is the best religion. Not because I'm a Muslim, not because of that. There's no difference of me just saying I'm a Muslim, so it's the best. What's the difference from me saying that and the guy across the street saying he's in the pub and he's drinking and he's saying Birmingham City is the best team, and that one over there he says Aston Villa is the best team, and the one in London he says no, this Manchester United is the best, and they're just making kalam. They're just making kalam. That's just a claim. Islam is the best religion because it's the final religion that Allah sent, the final book that He sent, the final prophet who came is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Quran says, and this is the point, why is giving dawah important? Why is there a virtue in giving dawah? Allah said in the Quran, kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhawna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. He said in the Quran, this ummah, you are the best ummah that has been brought forth for the rest of the people. And that's because you tell people to do good, you enjoin the good, and you stop people from doing the evil. You stop the evil, and you believe in Allah. Now, our ummah is only the best ummah if we do those things that were mentioned in the ayah. The verse said, you believe in Allah, and you enjoin the good, and you stop the evil. So from the virtues of dawah, is that the prophets and the messengers are the best people. They do the dawah. And the second reason is because if we didn't take care of this responsibility, we wouldn't be doing our job. We wouldn't be doing our job that makes us better than everybody else. Do Muslims drink? No, they shouldn't drink. So when Muslims see other people drinking in the society, it's the Muslims who are going to say, don't drink. Do Muslims or should Muslims kill people? No, they shouldn't do that. So when they see other people doing crimes, killing and other than that, the Muslims are the ones going to say to the people, don't do that. There was a man that the Prophet told us about, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He lived a long time ago. The Nabi said that he killed 100 people. 100 people. 100 people. Now I want to ask you guys, if there is a person who's going around killing every day, he killed 100 people, not at the same time. He killed him today, killed that one the next day. He killed him the fourth day, killed 3 other ones. And then when he got to 99, he wanted to make tawbah. He realized what he was doing was wrong. He wanted to make tawbah. He came to the community, came to you people. He said, hey, I killed 99 people and I want to ask Allah to forgive me. Can I make tawbah now? What would you guys say to him? Could he make tawbah after killing 99 people? Can he ask Allah to forgive him after killing 99 people? Can he do that? Would Allah forgive a man who killed 99 people? Well, the people said, go over there and ask that man right there. He went over to the man and he said, I killed 99 people. Can I make tawbah? The man said, no, you killed 99 people, just like some of you just said. He closed the door in his face. He said, no, you killed 99 people. That man took his knife out and killed him and made him 100. 100. After that, he came back to the people. He said, hey, I killed 100 people. I want to know, can I make tawbah? The people said, go to that man over there. He's knowledgeable. He knows about the religion. Ask him. He went over to that man. He said, I killed 100 people. Can I make tawbah? The man said, what will prevent you from making tawbah? Allah will forgive you. Allah can forgive you for what you did, 100 people. That's not beyond Allah's ability to forgive you. But you have to leave the people that you're dealing with. Because the people that you're dealing with are bad people. They allowed you to kill 100 people. If you're around friends who are bad, you're going to do bad. You're around friends who curse and swear and steal and don't pray. They smoke cigarettes. They have bad attitudes. If you're around them, they have antisocial behavior. When they get on the bus, they get on the bus for free. They don't pay. They go upstairs. They play the music loud. They make problems. Antisocial behavior. If you're with those people, you're going to do it. Like they say, birds of a feather flock together. So that man told him, you have to leave those people and make tawbah to Allah. You can't just stay with those people and say, I want to make tawbah. So the man said, okay. And he left those people and Allah Azza wa Jalla forgave him. So now the point that I want to take from this authentic hadith statement of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I want to ask you guys, do you see how everybody inside of the community was responsible for? They also helped him to kill 100 people because it was their responsibility to say, hey, we have to stop this guy. We have to do something. You and you and you and you, we have to come together and we have to stop this guy. Because if we don't stop him, sooner or later, he's going to come to kill you. He's going to come and kill your sister. Going to come and kill your mother. Going to come kill your father. If you keep letting him do that, it's going to harm you. So from the virtues of the Dawah, from virtues of inviting people to al-Islam, is that Allah made this ummah the best nation, the best ummah. And one of the reasons is because this ummah, they tell the people to do good and they stop the people from doing evil. They stop the people from doing evil and they believe in Allah. So if we don't give dawah, we don't deserve to be considered or to be called the best ummah. The last point, and there are very many ayats, but the last point we want to take from the hadith. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, in Green Lane, here, and what we want you brothers to be upon and to understand, this is important, is we don't want you to be on cultural Islam. Cultural Islam. My mother and my father did it this way, so we're doing it that way. We want you guys to worship Allah because you know what you're doing. The Islam that you can always show. That's in the Quran and that's in the Sunnah. So now we want to give you an example from the Sunnah that shows the virtues of giving dawah. The third and final virtue of giving dawah. Inviting people to Islam. Ali ibn Abi Talib. How many of you people heard of Ali ibn Abi Talib? All right. There are 4 Khulafa al-Rashidin. After the Prophet died, 4 of the companions became the Khalifa. The first one was who? And the second one was? And the third one was? And the fourth one. So who was the 4th Khalifa? Ali ibn Abi Talib. The first one was Abu Bakr, and then Umar, and then Uthman, and then Ali. Again, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. They are the 4 Khulafa al-Rashidin. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. Who are the 4 Khulafa al-Rashidin? You. Good. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. My man, you. Hey, open up. Don't get it wrong. The 4 Khulafa al-Rashidin. You get it wrong, I'm jumping right on you, man. The 4 Khulafa al-Rashidin. Who are they? Alright, if you don't know, you don't know. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. Ali was the fourth Khalifa. Ali was sick one time, and the Nabi said, where is Ali ibn Abi Talib? I don't see him. They say, Ya Rasulullah, he's sick. Something's wrong with his eyes. He can't see today. His eyes are shut, swollen. The Nabi said, go bring him here. They brought him here. He came and his eyes were swollen and the pus was coming out. The Nabi took him and spit in his eyes. Barakah, blessing. Not the spit, not like that. Just like this, look. Barakah. He spit in his eyes and he rubbed it. And Ali's eyes opened up. Ali was told by the Prophet ﷺ, I'm going to give you the flag. I want you to take the flag of Islam and you're going to go as the leader, the Amir. You're going to go to these people and I want you to call them to al-Islam. And you're in charge. And then the Prophet told Ali ibn Abi Talib, لِأَنْ يَهْدِيَ اللَّهُ بِكَ رَجُلًا وَاحِدًا خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْحُمُرِ النَّعَمِ. If Allah guides one person by you, if Allah guides one person because of you, your efforts, you invited him to your house, now Muslim, in Ramadan, you brought him some food in Ramadan, you gave him some samosas in Ramadan, you were nice in dealing with him, you stopped people from bullying that boy, they were bullying him, and you got involved and you said, don't bully him, and you helped him. If a person comes to Islam because of what you did, you helped him. The Prophet told Ali, that's better for you, that is greater for you than the red camel. Now in Arabia during the time of the Prophet, like now, anybody ever saw a camel before? All of the Somalis put their hands up, mashallah. If you didn't see a camel, put your hands up, let me see. All the Asians, they put their hands up. If you saw the camel, put your hand up. All the Somalis saw the camel. Okay. Right now, there are different camels. You have white camels, brown camels, black camels, yellow camels, red camels, just like human beings. Just like human beings. The Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when Allah created Adam, Adam was created from what? All right, clay. From teen, from clay. Allah said, the Prophet said, when Allah created Adam from clay, he took the clay from all of the earth. White clay, black clay, brown clay, red clay, yellow clay, and he created him from all of that. He said that's why Adam's children come out different colors. I'm this color, he's that color, you're that color. Because Allah didn't create Adam from one color. So your color is not because you're better than this one or you're worse than that one. Is white clay better than black clay? Anybody? White clay, is it better than black clay? Wallahi, it's not better. Is black clay better than white clay? Don't ever let somebody tell you, you're a second-class citizen. Go back to your country. Go back home. Tell them, yeah, I'm going back home. I live in Alam Rock. That's where I'm going. Don't let people tell you that. Just like Allah created Adam in different colors, his children, the camels are the same way. But during the Arabs' time, the time of the Arabs, during the time of the Nabi, the best camel, the most expensive camel was the red camel. So the Nabi told Ali ibn Abi Talib, if Allah guides one person by you, because of you, it's better than you having that red camel. So the red camel right now is like a very expensive car to us. Like a Maserati, like one of those Ferraris, like one of those Rolls Royces, you know, those expensive. What's the most expensive car? Anybody know? The what? The nah, man. The Bugatti. The what? Bugatti. It's like those kind of cars, not just a regular car. You don't see the most expensive cars in this masjid. The most expensive car. If you guide someone to Islam, if someone became a Muslim because of you, it's better for you than having that expensive car. So that's one of the virtues of the Dawah. When people become Muslims and they do good deeds because of another person, that person, he will get the reward. He'll get the reward because he encouraged them to do that particular issue. So now we're going to stop right here. What time is the whole thing over? So now what we're going to do right now, because there are a lot of issues that we can discuss with this, a lot of other ayat and a lot of other hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam, but we're going to stop here. But before stopping and opening up the floor for any questions, inshallah, there's one point we want to deal with, and this is the last point. In inviting people, when we call people and we invite them to come to what we're upon, it's important that we invite people and we know what we're inviting them to. So when giving dawah, we have to invite people to Allah. We shouldn't invite people to Green Lane Masjid. We shouldn't invite people to ourselves. Follow me, listen to me. We shouldn't invite people to our madhab, to our country. When I became a Muslim over 20 years ago, 1986, I met some people who were Pakistanis back in America. They were nice people. And along with some other reverts, we used to go to their masjid and listen to them. And they had their own culture. Their culture is not my culture. Pakistani culture is not my culture. But I was a new Muslim, and I saw some other African Americans, black people like me. They were new Muslims. I'm new, and they were Muslims, but I was the newest one. And when they used to talk, those black brothers, they used to do their heads like this. They would talk like that because they thought being a Muslim meant you have to speak with broken English like Arabs and some of the Pakistani people who they met. Arabic is the man's original language, so he spoke Arabic with an accent. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm not putting him down. But when I become a Muslim, I don't have to speak like that. I don't have to act like that. And I shouldn't invite people and call people to that. We should call people to who? Who should we invite people to? To Allah, to the religion. Allah said to the Prophet, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ. Tell them, Muhammad, this is my way, and I call to Allah. Allah said in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلٍ مِّمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Who is better in his speech than the one who calls people and invites people to Allah? There was a companion, his name was Mu'adh ibn Jabal. He was young, like you guys, he was young. The Prophet said to him, Ya Mu'adh, I'm going to send you to Yemen, from Medina all the way to Yemen. You're going to go and you're going to invite those people. He said the very first thing you should call them to is La ilaha illallah. Call them to Allah. He didn't say go to them and call them to know me, recognize me, worship me. He didn't say go there and tell them to recognize you. Go there and tell them to recognize the Arabs. No. He said you go there and you make sure the first thing you call them to is Allah. Now when you call people to Allah, pay attention, shabab, shababa, shaboob. When you call people to Allah, you're trying to tell someone about your religion. When he doesn't agree with you, when he doesn't accept it from you, if you're calling to Allah, you won't get upset. You won't get mad. It's your job just to relay the message. That's what Prophet Muhammad used to do. He used to relay the message in the best way. Just imagine for a minute. Just imagine. A man is in the desert and he didn't get any water to drink for 3 days and he's hot and he's thirsty. And he comes to you and you have the water. You have the water. And you have the water on the tray. And he comes to you and he says, I'm thirsty. He's a non-Muslim. He wants to drink from the well of Islam. The knowledge that you have, the way of life that you know. He wants to know the truth. That water that you have. He's thirsty. He's drinking sharab, khamr. He's doing all kind of craziness out there. The dog in the street. He does it. He loves the dog more than his mother and his father. He can't say to his mother and his father, I love you, thank you. But to the dog, he'll kiss the dog and the dog kiss him in his lips. He doesn't mind. You see him kissing the dog. He doesn't know how to clean himself. He goes to the bathroom, to the toilet. He doesn't know how to clean himself. He has najasa on him. Sometimes from drinking alcohol. He even goes to the bathroom on himself. You've seen those people before. Some of them don't smell nice. They don't know the importance of cleaning themselves. He's thirsty for the water that you have. You have the water to give him life. Clean him up. He's in the desert and he comes to you. He says to you, hey, Abdullah, Ishaq, Ibrahim, Abdul Razak, Yaqub, Ghulaid. He says, hey, give me some water. Just give me the water to drink. And then you say to that individual like this, do you believe in what I believe in? He says, no. And then you take the water and go, phew. And then you say, well, I gave you the water. I gave you the water. Would anyone accept that? That's terrible behavior. Terrible behavior. And this is why, you young guys, I have to make this point. Muslims who want to blow up planes and blow up trains and blow up buses and kill innocent people, by doing that, they're doing worse than throwing water in a person's face. Anybody tries to harm you, your mother, your sister, and you're in the street, someone tries to harm you, you protect yourself and you protect your mother and your sister. You protect yourself and you protect your mother and your sister. But going out and putting a bomb in the bus, in the plane, and killing innocent people, that's worse. Worse. What that guy did, throwing water in the face of the thirsty person, that's easy. Compared to the one who does that craziness, and then the people turn around and say, look at those Muslims, look at those people are crazy. So when you have dawah and your dawah is for Allah and to Allah, when a person doesn't accept it, you don't get mad. You don't get mad. And I'm going to finish with that. One time our mother Aisha, she said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what was the worst thing that happened to you since you were a Nabi and a Rasul? He said, one time I went to the Arabs in Mecca. I was giving them dawah and I was calling them to la ilaha illallah. They didn't accept it from me. So I was leaving. When I was leaving, they sent the young people and they started throwing rocks and they were hitting me in my head with the rocks. And the rocks opened up my head and the blood was flowing into my shoes. And I was walking away. And I was mahmoom. I was disturbed, upset because of what they did. He said, I was walking. He said, and then there was a cloud that was over my head. And I looked up and Jibril came down. And Jibril said, Ya Muhammad, look over there. That's the angel who's responsible for the mountains in this area. All you have to do, Muhammad, is just order that angel and he'll take these mountains and he'll crush all of these people who hit you in the head with those rocks. Because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his dawah was to Allah and for Allah, not for himself. He said, no, I don't want the angel to do anything for them. And then he asked Allah, oh Allah, forgive my people for what they're doing. And he asked Allah to bring from those people children who would worship Allah. And that's what happened. That's what happened. And that's because, again, it shows the sincerity of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't get mad, angry, upset when people don't accept it from you. Maybe they're not accepting it from you for a reason that you're the cause, the way you're doing it. So your job, my job, is not to make the people accept. Our job is just to deliver the message in a nice way. You bring a nice tray, you bring a nice glass of water with nice decorations on the water. It looks nice. You have maybe some taste in the water, like strawberries, whatever, and you just give it to them in a nice way. And you allow the person to take the water and to drink it easily. As for you, having the water behind your back and say, I'm not going to give to you, I'm not going to give to you, and then you throw it in his face, nah, not like that. Not like that. So now we're going to open up the floor, guys, for any questions that you brothers may have. And don't worry, you can ask any question about what we mentioned here today or something else for that matter, if you have something. So you wanted, after I finish, you were going to do something with them. That was just it? Okay. Akhi, what's your name? I got to get to know your names. Where's Abdul Razak? That's Abdul Razak. And that's Ibrahim. Your name is Ibrahim? And your name is Adam or Adam? Adam. Go ahead, Adam. No doubt, Adam, that's a good point. He said when you're giving dawah, to say don't get angry, but practically speaking, it's not easy. Sometimes it's difficult. Again, we have to look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet had total, absolute ikhlas, sincerity to Allah. Anas ibn Malik, his companion, said that the Nabi man taqama li nafsihi. He used to not take revenge for himself. He never did things back to people just for himself. But if someone did something against the religion, the Nabi would deal with them, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he was upset. He wasn't happy when people did things. Allah said in the Quran to the Nabi, فَلَا تَذْهَبْ نَفْسُكَ حَسَرَاتٍ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَصْنَعُونَ. Don't let yourself become sad with sorrow, ya Muhammad. Don't have this hasarat. Don't be sad because of what they're doing. Allah knows what they're doing. So that shows that the Nabi used to be disturbed. He used to feel bad. Allah mentioned in the Quran about him, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعُ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى أَلَّا يُؤْمِنُ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. It may be that you will worry yourself to death, worry yourself until you die, worrying that they don't believe in this religion, the Quran and the Sunnah. So no doubt, a person should feel bad, and he wants his people to be guided. He wants his family to be guided, wants his sister to wear hijab, wants his brothers, his mother's father to make salat, and he's trying to talk to them about these things, but they don't listen. You can be sad about it, but getting angry and showing your anger, that's a sign and an indication that you're not being sincere. Don't get angry to the point where you lose your cool and you say something crazy. And before we take the next question, there's another example that will clarify this. A hadith that the Prophet told us, it was two men. One guy, he was religious, and the other one, he was not religious. The religious one used to pray, fast, hajj, umrah, sadaqah, masjid. He used to do all that stuff. He used to wear a thobe, he had a beard, he did all of that stuff. He used to have a miswak, he did all of that stuff. And the other one, he was irreligious. He didn't pray, drink khamr. He used to make problems. Every time the religious one would see the irreligious one, he'd say, hey, you better stop doing what you're doing. And that irreligious one would say, leave me, you're not my Lord. You're not to watch over me. It's not your job to make me do things. So every time he would see him, he would do it. Next day, hey, you better stop doing that. He said, leave me to my Lord. You're not my Lord. You're not to watch over me. You're not responsible for me. And he would say it like that, arrogantly. The third day, this guy saw him doing something big. He was doing something big. Something big. The biggest thing you can think of. He said, hey, you better stop doing that, because wallahi, Allah is not going to forgive you, and Allah won't put you into the Jannah. He got upset with what he saw. He got upset that that guy was doing something bad. So he said, wallahi, Allah is not going to forgive you, and Allah won't put you in Jannah. He's not going to put you in Jannah. Allah caused both of them to die. Allah raised them up. He said to the one who was bad, he died doing something big. He didn't make tawbah. Allah said, as for you, the bad one, you go to the Jannah because of my rahmah. I forgave you. He didn't make tawbah before he died. He said to the other one, the good one, he was praying, hajj, umrah, miswak, thobe, beard, all of that stuff. Sadaqah, he did all that. Allah said to him, you, do you know all about me? Do you know who I'm going to forgive, who I'm not going to forgive? For you to say that? Are you in charge of my treasures? Allah, he has treasures. From Allah's treasure is Jannah. He gives Jannah to whoever he wants. From his treasures is rahmah. He gives it to who he wants. Are you in charge of that? To say to this guy, Allah won't forgive you, Allah won't put you in Jannah? Allah said to the malaika, take him, put him in the hellfire. Abu Hurairah, who narrated this hadith about the Nabi, he said that man, he destroyed his dunya, all of those good deeds, and he destroyed his hereafter because of something he said. When you talk about the religion, when you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to make a problem for yourself and other people. So the point here about this hadith is, that guy something out of anger. He saw something and he was angry. Don't be angry like that. Within yourself, you can feel bad about it. You can feel sorry for them. You should want them to be guided, but never ever make a judgment where you say crazy things to people. May Allah curse you. Don't say things like that. May Allah put you in the hellfire for what you're doing. You're no good. You'll never be. Don't ever say things like that. Your job, once again, what's your job, Abdullah? Your job, my job, do your best to give him the water. That's all. Make that water look nice, and you just give him the water. And you let him take the water and he drinks it. But it's not your job to make him drink the water. That's not your job. Any more questions? Shaboob, little man.
Not a question, but you know when I went to Mecca, they replaced Ali's house with a KFC.
They replaced Ali's house with KFC? I don't think so, little man. I don't think so. I don't think that they replaced Ali's house with KFC because we don't know where Ali's house was. And believe me when I tell you, if the Muslims of today knew where Ali's house was, they'll go crazy and do crazy things with Ali's house, just as they did with the Prophet's grave. Which one is more important? Which one is more important? The Prophet's grave or Ali's house? The Prophet's grave. So Ali's house is gone. The Prophet's grave is here. They have to put policemen, guards around the grave of the Prophet, and Abu Bakr and Umar are in there as well, to stop the people from doing crazy things. To stop the people from doing crazy things. If the people worship only Allah, if the Muslims only worship Allah, then no guard has to be around the grave. Because the Muslim would just go to see how it looks, and he would say, Assalamu alaikum, Ya Rasulullah, Assalamu alaikum, Ya Abu Bakr, Assalamu alaikum, Umar, and then he'll keep it moving, go about his business. But when a person doesn't worship Allah alone, he worships the Nabi, he worships Abu Bakr, Umar, he worships some other saint in the grave. They have to put guards there, because if they didn't, the people will go there and they'll slaughter by the grave. They'll make dua by the grave. They'll make salat to the grave. So this thing about Ali's grave and KFC, don't believe that. Khurafat. Let me hear you say that word, khurafat. Yeah, that's a good word. When you hear somebody tell you that story, Ali's house and KFC, say, that's khurafat. Just tell them that, okay? Any more questions? Shaboob, Akhi Abdul Razak. Good job, Akhi Abdul Razak. Abdul Razak has shown himself to be the best student. I don't know who else is the best student. I know some of you are good kids, and the time will tell who's the best student. But today, Abdul Razak's, his star is shining bright. Anybody got any shades? Because I need some shades. That star is shining so bright, mashallah. From the virtues of giving dawah and inviting people to Islam is, if a person invite someone and that person becomes a Muslim, everything that person does, you'll get the reward. For an example, your mother and your father. Your mothers and your fathers are getting rewards for you being in the masjid right now. Those of you who have wudu and you're sitting there with wudu, you're in salat, you're in dhikr right now. Because if you make salat and you keep wudu and you stay in the masjid, you're still in the salah. Your mother and father are getting rewarded for that. When you fast, your mother and your father get that reward. When you sneeze and say Alhamdulillah, Inshallah, Mashallah, Allahu Akbar, you read the Quran, your mother and father gets that reward, and their mother and father get the reward, and their mother, and on and on and on and on. So that's why he told Ali, if Allah guides one man by you, it's better than the red camel. If I said to you guys right now, come on guys, everybody get up and pray 2 rakats before the adhan of al-Isha. Come on, that's everybody. If you got up and you prayed 2 rakats, I'm going to get the reward of everybody's prayer because I suggested it. You did it because I suggested it. So that's true, brother Abdul Razak. That's one of the reasons that will help us. Don't get upset with people when you give them dawah. You have to be trying to give him the truth, hoping that he would take it, because if he takes it, it's good for him and it's good for you. Any more questions? Yeah, ikhwani, you little dudes. Any more questions? Nah, my brother. What's your name, son? Hassan. How old are you? What? 50? 15. Are you married? No, I'm married. Go ahead. Good question, Hassan. Priority. Priority. Anybody know how to spell that word? Priority. 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 You. Priority. Good. Why? How do you spell prioritize? Prioritize. Anybody know how to spell priority? You. Close though. Prioritize. Good. So this class is in the masjid, but man, we have to learn those other sciences as well, because we don't want to dumb everything down for the Muslim kids. Everything is dumbed down for you guys. Anyway, what's the priority? Should we focus on giving dawah to the Muslim, or should we focus on giving dawah to the non-Muslim? What's the priority? It's going to be different at different times. It's going to be different. The situation is going to be determined by what's going on. There was a time when the main kuffar, non-Muslims of Quraysh, was sitting there. They were disbelievers, and the Prophet was giving them dawah. And then the blind man, Abdullah ibn Maktoum, he came. He was a Muslim. He was the mu'adhin. Bilal was a mu'adhin and he was a mu'adhin. The Nabi was giving them dawah, and he came and he wanted to know something from the Nabi. He wanted the Prophet's attention, to ask him and to have the Nabi talk to him. And the Prophet frowned and turned away, told him, hold on, and turned away, focusing on those people. And then Allah revealed the surah, Abasa wa tawalla in ja'ahu al-a'ma. He frowned and turned away when the blind man came to him. Don't give priority to these guys, and they're arrogant and they don't want to listen. And this Muslim, his heart is soft and he needs to be heard right now. So in this case, you have to listen to him. You have to give priority to that guy. But it may be a situation where those Muslims know what they're doing. They need you, but this is more pressing right now with the non-Muslim. That non-Muslim is your mother. That non-Muslim is your father. That non-Muslim is going to die soon. So now that's the priority on that individual. So that's where knowledge comes into the equation. The more knowledge you have, the more knowledgeable about a thing a person, the more knowledge that a person has about any given thing, the deen or the dunya, the more effective he's going to be. The better he's going to deal with that situation. The less knowledge that he has, the less effective he's going to be. Like the guy who killed 99 people, and he went to the man who didn't have knowledge and he said, I want to make tawbah. Can I make tawbah? Because he didn't have knowledge, he said, you can't make tawbah. So he wound up losing his life. When he went to the guy who had tawbah, who had knowledge, he killed 100 people. Can I make tawbah? That man had knowledge. He said, yeah, you can make tawbah, but you have to do A, B, C, D, and so forth and so on. That was a good question, Akhi Hassan. We're going to stop right now, 9:45, inshallah. Give you guys 7:45. Give an opportunity to prepare for the Salat al-Isha. Those of you who are going to stay in the masjid, if you're not going to stay in the masjid and you have home at this time, don't be goofing off around the property of the masjid, getting in trouble. A lot of things you can do around here to get in trouble or to get hurt by and with. So we hope that you stay home. And next week, at the same time, 6:30, inshallah, we'll do the second part of this presentation. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect you guys and make this week, inshallah, in school a successful week, and that you don't miss any of your salat, and that you don't give your mother and your father any problems. So Allah, we ask you to guide the knuckleheads from amongst us and to make it, say Ameen. Allah, guide the knuckleheads from amongst us and make it easy for us for the rest of the week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
غرباء غرباء